let us together define how to use technology to help meet the enormous challenge before us inclusively and fairly. What we do need is another evaluation of what didn't work. This is the first step.
The world is confronting a huge digital skills gap. The lack of digital skills constitutes a major obstacle for every nation in striving to develop effective policies to drive digital transformation.
To me, education is a promise from governments to their citizens, from communities to families, and from us to future generations. It's a promise that every child will have the tools and the information they need to lead a better life. It's time we keep that promise.
Dear friends, exceptional times require flexible measures and a lot of creativity by our teachers. In Finland, schools were able to organize distance learning rapidly, largely due to highly educated and motivated teachers. Teachers have a lot of autonomy and they know how to put an individual learner in focus, which has been very beneficial to us in this crisis.
The largest mobile operator in Kenya offers subsidized data bundles to support the access of educational content by learners across the board. Together with other sector actors, the charges for providing connectivity to homes have also been reduced.
Online learning was unaffordable for many students from rural and low-income families. The idea of traditional offline distance learning was adopted. Universities were encouraged to establish learning centers in towns and rural areas.
Hundreds of school-aged girls have been forced to marriage. School-aged boys have been engaged to economic activities such as farming and herding. We may not be able to see some of these hundreds and even thousands of our boys and girls back to school when schools are to be open soon.
We had a portal, or not a portal really, a digital library available to every citizen in Egypt, like 100 million people, for free, and engages 33 of the biggest knowledge houses around the world. So maybe UNESCO can really convene countries to think about how can we have global curricula established, or exams across countries, or things like that. To liberate ourselves from the classical background we all inherited.
The acceleration of change also brings an opportunity. The opportunity to reimagine the future of education and chart a path that is inclusive for all students around the world.
We're now in a world where it's very easy for a teacher to say, hey, work on this skill on Khan Academy, especially in a math class. We're gonna have science in the next year. So especially in math and science, work on this skill on Khan Academy. The benefits over traditional homework or practice is that kids get immediate feedback. It's interactive. They can get solutions. They can get videos. The teacher can know exactly who did what was the most missed question, what to cover in class, how long it took the students. So there's just a lot more data. And then on top of that, the students or the teachers can slowly move to more personalization. They can say, okay, instead of everyone doing the same assignment, if you want, you can go ahead, or if you had trouble with the assignment, you can look at the prerequisite skills, work on those as well, and go at your own time and pace. And so if you did that, then even if, there's a snowstorm or a flood or a hurricane, then the next day the kids will at least keep learning in that way. They'll have their goals, they can keep getting that practice feedback, and the teachers can still keep track of them, even if they're, miles away.
What we call today a challenge, it can easily become a crisis or even worse, a no-return situation in just a few months for many children in vulnerable situations. At Profuturo, we believe that digital education is the right path, and that it is why we encourage governments and other public and private institutions and donors to join us in our effort to bring quality education to every corner of the world. We have the tools and the knowledge to turn this situation around, but we can't do it alone. We have to do it together, with you and with others.
In any case, what evidence there is often only shows that the tool can make student learning more efficient. which is a term that I find a little uncomfortable in education, and it can prepare students for examinations. But education isn't just about getting students through exams more efficiently. Instead, education is about helping young people develop their potential, to achieve their own ambitions, to do what psychologists call self-actualize, all in order to help them lead a good quality life and to contribute productively to society. All of this requires social interaction and collaboration, which is the opposite of what these so-called personalized tools provide.
We are at the beginning of the first intelligent revolution. We have a long way to go, but we have a unique opportunity where we can try and do this right and harness the best from the science of learning. So we are really looking to try and promote an idea that we want to develop education and promote education that can be used by all, is owned by none, but is really managed maybe by an intergovernmental agency or an international agency for common good.
The gaps of educational inequality have to be addressed with the flexibility of the educational system in order to respond to changing scenarios.
In terms of what is that we can expect for the future, although I would say when we use the word future now, I think that many things that we were thinking about in the future for the next 10 or 20 years have been propelled to today, right? And this discussion of saying, look, connectivity is not now a nice thing, an important thing to do, but it's an essential thing to do. That's something that I think is one of the lessons of the pandemic.
If things stay exactly the same, meaning funding doesn't go up and funding doesn't go down, we still have a few 100 million children and youth who will have severe issues by 2030.
Final point, change is possible through innovation and new experiences, experimentation. We could see formidable experimentation. We could see in the ground and in many countries. And I think Rob Jenkins and Hemi Saavedra explained very well the importance of this dimension and the importance of connect this dimension with the need of not leaving education behind as a public sector and investing in education.